Here we are ready to do example number 2. So in example number 2, you'll notice our object has moved closer. It's not at the focal point yet, but it is much closer. It's not really far away. So we're going to see how this changes our image. So our first line is going to go through the top of the object, just like it did before, and just like before, down through this focal point. So that's line number 1. Then we're going to add line number 2. In line number 2, remember, we're going to go through the top of the object, through the secondary focal point, and then we're going to go straight. Now mine didn't meet because I didn't make mine long enough. Remember I said make nice long lines? Well, I should follow my own advice. So there we go, nice long lines so they cross. Excellent. Now it's time for line number 3. Line number 3, we're going to, remember, go through the top of the object, right through the optical center, so where these two lines cross, where your lens meets your principal axis, and right on through. And you can see they roughly cross in the same place. Now, don't get overly excited if they don't cross perfectly. There is a certain amount of, I guess, what we call scientific error to this whole thing, right? Because you can only draw so accurately. So don't panic if yours are a little off. You can see basically where it should be. Now, remember, the top of the object was over there. This is the top of your image. So this is where my arrow is going to end. And I'm going to go up and point it down. Not the straightest arrow I've ever drawn, but it's a little hard with this tool. So there we go. I have my image. Now you'll notice it is a little bit different than our previous image, right? I'm still going to use my salt characteristics to name it. So I'm going to name them first. I'm going to talk about the size, and you can tell it's now larger, right? It's much larger, this arrow, than the original arrow. So my image is larger than the object. Attitude, well, remember the attitude is, spell it right, is either inverted, upside down, or upright. And this is clearly inverted. It's upside down. Then we talk about its location. Is it closer, further, or the same distance from the lens? Well, you can see my image is a lot further from the lens, so I'm going to say farther. And finally, my type. Now remember, the big hint we talked about in example 1 is the fact that if it's inverted, it must be on a screen, which makes it real. All inverted images are going to be real every single time. So that lets you help identify this. So there you go. Example number 2. We moved the object in and we got a slight change. The big change here that happens, well, it got bigger. So the closer it's getting, the bigger the image seems to be getting. We'll keep on trying some examples though and see how that changes.